Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast, hosted by Craig Phillips and Jeff Torrey. Visit us at fantasyfootballprophet.com. And now your hosts, Craig and Jeff.
Welcome everyone to the Fantasy Football Prophet podcast. I'm Craig Phillips, joined as always by Jeff Torrey. And today we're going to talk about players that after 2 weeks are trending up our season-long rest of season ranks from where they started the year. These are guys that in 2 weeks have really made an impression on us that maybe, I don't know, not necessarily we were down on before, but we're looking at now that, okay, these guys are pretty legit and we should have probably ranked them higher than we did. So we each have three guys, and at the end, we'll throw some honorable mentions out there as well, but we'll have three guys that we each think have really made an impression, or like, okay, these are for real. These aren't just, flash in the pan type things. These guys are the real deal. So here we go. We're going to go 3-1. Jeff, who is your first player, your number 3 on your list today?
My number 3 is going to be Damian Harris. I was somewhat of a fan going into the year, but from everything that's transpired with the Patriots and the way they use them in week 1 and 2, I absolutely love what this guy brings to the table. They obviously got rid of Cam Newton. They have Mac Jones now. They want to establish the run game. They're still using James White and quite a bit, but Damian Harris is getting the bulk of the carries on the ground. He has 23 attempts in week 1, 16 in week 2. He has a touchdown. I think this guy is going to be a, week to week contributor. I really, really like what they're doing with him. And even more so with the other running backs being so up and down and kind of spotty. I feel even more bolstered by, his very solid production. I think he's going to be a really, really solid guy moving forward. So Damian Harris comes in number 3 for me.
He's not on my list, but I'm 100% in agreement with that. And part of our hesitation always was the split backfield, right? They're always using other guys. They traded away Sony Michel right before the season. Ramondre Stevenson, we thought that was because of him, right? That he was looking good in preseason, and he was. Then in week, we've talked about a couple times, week 1, he fumbles the ball and gets blown up on a block attempt. And that was just it for him. He wasn't even active. It was a healthy scratch this past week. That was pretty quickly over. Because of that, Damian Harris is the only guy they trust right now. And we talked about Damian Harris. This isn't a surprise to me in a way. I knew this was possible. A couple of years ago when he came out of Alabama, we're like, why is Damian Harris not getting more love? And why is it all going to Josh Jacobs, right? Josh Jacobs had all the love, even though Harris played more, it felt like, than Jacobs. And Harris is finally getting to show that. So I'm definitely 100% on board with this. He was a guy who was probably closer to 30th in the rankings before the season. And now he's definitely a top 20 guy all day.
And I like this one too, because he's still not a name, and you're still,
he's not. Yeah.
You're going to look at how they play, and you're going to say, like, right now, the numbers don't lie. Like 23 and 16 is a lot of attempts, but you're going to look at it and say, okay, well, what if Mac Jones gets better? They don't have, what if he finally figures out who he wants to throw to? They're using White still. I think that Damian Harris is a guy that you can still trade for. So
exactly.
I like that aspect as well.
He's easily, I think, a guy you can still go trade for. So I'll go for him. All right. My number 3, I'm going to go with Rob Gronkowski, because I didn't really think much of him, to be honest, coming into this season. It was one of those, maybe throw Gronk. He wasn't drafted in a lot of our leagues. I did not realize, I guess, the red zone target he would become. 4 touchdowns in 2 games. I can't think that's for real, right? It seems like they're going for that touchdown record, that all-time touchdown record of, Brady to Gronk. They're going to try to beat Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison, and they could do it. I think, so Nick, my brother, was talking before last week. He was saying, hey, he thinks this is he brought this up to me. He's like, I think they're going for this. They needed like 14 touchdowns or something to do it this year. And he's like, I think they're going to go for it, and they're just going to do it. You know what? He might be right. I wouldn't put it past them, right? Brady's looking for Gronk.
You have 4 touchdowns in 2 weeks.
They might be looking for this. They truly might be. And because of that, Gronk only had 4 or 5 catches last week. That wasn't much. The yardage was still only 40 yards. It doesn't matter. At tight end, especially if he is that red zone target, which why is he not going to be? He's going to be the red zone target. And they still have Evans. They have Godwin. They have Antonio Brown. No one can concentrate on Gronk yet. You still can't. So Gronk, he is, I don't know where yet. This where he'll be in my ranks this week, but he was a guy who was obviously he was outside of the top 10, and he's getting close to top 5 type. He's not going to probably break into that, but he's right outside of that main group. He's really close.
For me, he's right there. He's in the top 5.
Well, because to me that would be
he'd probably be like 5th. Because first of all, I have to see Kittle do something before I'm going to throw him up there.
Because the two guys he could possibly go ahead would be Kittle and Andrews, right? Those are the ones. Because the guys who are sure things, obviously, it's Kelsey, it's Waller, it's Hawkinson. They are 100% locked in to those spots without a doubt. Then you go Kittle, Andrews, and it depends on how you want to do it. But then Gronk is right there.
Yeah, I mean, right now and I realize that this is very touchdown dependent, but hey, I mean, they're gonna throw a bunch of touchdowns.
He's going to get those touchdowns. Yes, it's not going to stop.
He has an opportunity to score a touchdown. So I'm going to rank him at number 4 until Andrews and Kittle show me something. Yeah, so I mean, maybe it won't finish that way, but we always knew that right now he's kind of in the island. He's going to be touchdown dependent. But until Kittle shows me that he can catch for, he's going to be one of the main guys on that team and catch for 80 yards, and I don't have to worry about it. I'll go with the upside guy.
Definitely. All right. Number 2 for you, Jeff. Who are you going with?
Number 2 is going to Mike Williams from the Chargers. And finally, after years, he was a top 10 pick. He's finally showing what he can do. He's a very, very big wide receiver. Herbert in there doing his thing. You have, Keenan Allen. But the thing that I love the most, because we know that he's shined. Like, you were just like, wow, this guy's got talent. If he can stay healthy and if he can get his stuff together so he can be, a threat every single down, this guy could really be something. And finally, he's showing it. Against Washington, he had 12 targets. He caught 8 of them. Against Dallas, he had 10 targets, caught 7 of them. He has a touchdown in each game. Do I expect that to continue, the touchdown production? No. But the fact that I believe that you can get 70 yards and you don't even have to have a very good game, then I truly believe in him. And he's turned into a true threat. I mean, Keenan Allen, I would still consider kind of the number 1 option, but this guy is a very close number 2. And until Eckler kind of demands more of the catches, I don't even think it will touch these guys. But I mean, I don't see anything that can derail him besides for injury at this point. So Mike Williams is that guy. I truly believe that for the rest of the year, he's going to be a very solid start. And once again, you can still trade for Mike Williams, which I love.
So yeah, he's again not on my list, but 100% one of those honorable mention guys. And I'm telling you, if someone didn't know anything about the Chargers, didn't know anything about Keenan Allen, Mike Williams before the season, you watch those first 2 games, they'd come out of there saying Mike Williams is their top receiver, right? Like, I mean, that's what he's looked like. And he looks, I mean, that touchdown he scored, he looks like he's the real deal. He looks like that first round draft pick finally, right? In year 5? Maybe it just took him longer. But I mean, I say that in year 5, but he was, he's battled injuries. He's had all that, right? And maybe he hasn't fully been healthy, but man, he looks the part right now. He looks like that guy that they drafted, in the top 10. He 100% looks like that guy.
Yeah, and you can go down the field to him as well, which is not Keenan Allen's bag, really, right? It's not Eckler's bag. So, and usually they would throw in someone else, like a Benjamin or something like that in years past. Like, okay, now you stretch to the field. Mike Williams can be that guy. I think he has real potential to put up numbers this year.
Yep, I love that pick. Yeah, Mike Williams finally showing something here. All right, I'm going to go with another receiver. I'm going to go with Tyler Lockett. So Tyler Lockett, to me, is always a guy that I feel like we kind of just overlook. It happens every year. I mean, and sometimes I guess it might be warranted a little bit. Like he wasn't as good, we think, as DK Metcalf, right? But this year hasn't shown that. Tyler Lockett has been amazing for 2 games. And it's just, I don't even know why we overlook him. Last year, 100 catches, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns. He's been good. But we kept thinking, okay, DK Metcalf is that clear, just ridiculous receiver, right? He's the number 1 by far. But it's not playing out that way. The targets are about equal for these guys, though. That's not like saying Lockett's getting all the targets, but Lockett is making stuff happen with those. And Russell Wilson has all the trust in him. But 12 catches, but 278 yards in 2 games, 3 touchdowns, 23 yards per catch. That has to go down. Like, that can't sustain itself, right? But I love what I've seen at the beginning. Tyler Lockett has vaulted into my top 10 receivers as well, and he started the year, he was probably around 20th-ish, and maybe around there. I think we just overlooked him too much. And it was one of those names that I don't know. You get these names sometimes in fantasy where you're just not that excited, right? You're just not, Tyler Lockett. I don't really care for Tyler Lockett. I don't want Tyler Lockett, right? I want one of these flashy names, maybe that's below him, but that was a mistake. Tyler Lockett's really good. So.
Yeah. Right now he's the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy. I mean, this is the hard part because you're absolutely true. And I wish I could say I knew it and I ranked him in my top 10 because he deserved to be there, but I didn't because I saw DK and I was like, yeah, he'll be good. And he's one of those guys that, yeah, if he ends up falling to me, great, but I'm not going to be that psyched about it. I don't know why. But in the last 3 years, besides for this, he was the 11th, 15th, and 11th wide receiver. He's always been incredibly solid on the knocking on the top 10, but he was never there. This could be the year that he finally finishes not only there, but he could finish in the top 5 if he continues on with this tear. And to be fair, last year he probably could have as well, but they really slowed down that last quarter of the season. So hopefully they don't have that fall off, but Lockett's playing off his mind. I couldn't agree with you more.
All right. Number 1, who you got?
Number 1, you were talking about who is currently number 1. I'm going to talk about who's currently number 2. Cooper Kupp returns to form. He had a ridiculous year.
My number 1 as well. So he
has had great years before. With Stafford, the question was, is he going to have a rapport with Woods? Is he going to have a rapport with Kupp? What are they going to do? We knew that it was probably going to look good, but they've always had very solid years. So how much better? Cooper Kupp has returned to a touchdown threat every single time. He looks better than Woods at the moment. Him and Stafford are on the same page, and he looks just full bore right out of the gate. And I can't imagine him slowing down unless, once again, some unforeseen thing. So Kupp has just been incredibly wonderful to watch, and he has been incredibly impressive. And especially with the, Henderson getting dinged up, I think that passing offense will only continue to increase and try to figure out different ways to get those guys open, which McVay is kind of a genius at. Stafford can do anything he wants. So I don't think it will slow down. I think that they'll only get more creative. So I really, really like Cooper Kupp, who currently has 16 catches for 271 yards and 3 touchdowns in 2 games. So, wow.
Yeah, he's been awesome. What was it? 2019? I think 2019 is the year he started off ridiculously fast too.
Yes, 2019 he ended as the 4th best wide receiver.
Okay.
And then I believe he got one of these years he got injured. And I don't know which one it was, but 2020 he finished 35th. So it definitely kind of threw cold water on everyone. So everyone kind of backed off.
Right. Yeah, we backed off a little bit, but we've seen it before where he looked really good. I think he had 10 touchdowns in 2019. Last year only had 3. So it really tailed off last year. But he's come out with Stafford. Like clearly Kupp's Stafford's number 1 look. He's looking for every time he needs a big play, he looks for Kupp. Robert Woods is involved. There's nothing against Robert Woods, but he's just not that guy compared to Kupp right now. It's all Cooper Kupp. In this, I mean, I wish I saw this coming. I didn't see this coming. I had Robert Woods ranked ahead of Cooper Kupp. I did. And now it's like 2 weeks later and you're like, oh, how could I be such an idiot? How would I know? But I guess, how would you know? I mean, you saw Cooper Kupp last year. He was okay. He wasn't that great. You didn't know Stafford was going to come out and just throw the ball to Cooper Kupp all the time. But hey, that's what's happened. Notice that in 2 games, it's all Cooper Kupp. And this is even not like, okay, Tyler Lockett's been even more big play type, I would say. Cooper Kupp's just it's big plays, but it's just a lot. It's just everything's a lot. It's not a 23 yards per catch, which feels like it's hard to sustain that. That's not like he's getting 16.9 yards per catch, which is a really good number, but it's not as unsustainable as like Tyler Lockett's 23. So it's just been solid. He's getting a lot of targets, catches, yards, all of it. He's just, again, probably top 10 right now for me going forward. Cooper Kupp. So there we go. That's our number 1. So if you have any honorable mentions you wanted to throw out there?
Yeah, honorable mentions that maybe they haven't proven themselves completely yet, but I think Brandon Cooks is a good one. I really want Tyrod to come back. But Brandon Cooks is a guy that, I mean, I'm not going to put him in my top 10, but he's been incredibly productive on a team that I really didn't have a whole lot of hope for. So he's been incredibly impressive to me as well. And I know it's very, very early, but Rondell Moore seems like he's going to be a name, whether that be, it seems like he could be easily in the top 30 moving forward. I know that one's incredibly early, but the way Kyler is playing currently, I think there's so much room on that team that he seems like the guy that should be a name moving forward. But once again, that one's a little more out there. I'll
just go deeper just to say a guy that I guess I kind of just written off completely, and maybe he's actually could be still relevant, not like highest level, but just relevant, is Marquis Brown. I was just gone from Marquis Brown was just off my radar. I thought it's just not happening with him, right? And for through 2 games, 6 for 69 in a touchdown in week 1, 6 for 113 in a touchdown in week 2, 6 target. He caught all 6 targets in week 1. This past week he had 10 targets. So it's been better. I mean, that's not, I'm not saying, I'm going to jump him up like even my top 20. He's still maybe borderline top 30 type player, but he's actually, to me, I wasn't even thinking about Marquise Brown, and he's, shown a little bit of something, right, for once. And I like to see that maybe there's a chance that he could still kind of, start to break out a little bit. And so he's only 24 years old, right? 24 years old in year 3. Yeah. We kind of, I think, might have wrote him off too early and not realize he could still possibly become a thing. So Marquise Brown, if we go further down the list, I've been, he's at least put his name back on my radar.
Yeah, no, I like that one a lot. I think he has a lot of upside. I think the question was always, at what point is he going to get enough targets in a game that he's going to be a viable option game in, game out? And it looks like this might be the year. So especially with all those injuries to the running backs, you're going to have to pass a little more.
Part of that could be the running back injuries. So, but all right, that's the main one I have. I don't know if you have any more to throw out, or is it good? That's about all I have right now.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably keep throwing on names, but those, I'm going to cap it right there.
But next week, I think what we'll probably do next week is do our trending down list after week 3. Because next week, I'm not going to try to go too down on people yet. But after 3 weeks, yeah, I think we know some things. So
I have a list of people. I'm just waiting 1 more week and I'm cut you off.
Yeah. So next week is where we have 3 weeks in a row of something. We'll be like, all right, you're officially now dead to us. But all right. So that'll do it for today's episode. Next episode will be Thursday night. We will come talk about Carolina at Houston. I know. Exciting, right? Actually, I'm kind of curious. I'm interested to see how Carolina comes out. And they've been pretty good for 2 games. Are they for real here? Can Sam Darnold look good again? I don't expect much from Houston at all. I'm just kind of curious if Carolina still looks like they're actually playing well and Sam Darnold can keep doing some stuff. But other than that, I don't have any expectations for Houston. So I'd be pleasantly surprised if Brandon Cooks can make this a thing with Davis Mills out there. I don't expect much, but we'll see. If he can get it done with Davis Mills, he's going to be, he would have been a guy that really jumped up our list this week if we would have, but we got Tyrod. No Tyrod. It makes it a little more worrisome. I think Tyrod's on IR now. So that guy can't catch a break, man.
He really can't.
And he finally was looking good too. I feel bad for the guy.
He was
last year. He
looking good against Chargers too, and then
last year he got stabbed. Yeah, the team doctor stabbed him.
Before that, I think it was the same thing. He lost his position to, they just always
do.
Yeah, they just always think that the better thing is on the horizon. I don't know. I feel bad for him. I like him as a player. I always enjoyed watching him.
I mean, back with Buffalo, he actually looked pretty solid back then. Back with Buffalo, back in the
he's never looked bad. That's why he keeps getting.
No, he doesn't.
Started. He
I feel so bad for this guy. He got hurt, I think, on a touchdown run. Man.
Oh, also, just totally unrelated. I just saw a trailer. It's like the Kurt Warner story or something. They're making a movie about him. Going from bagging groceries to
NFL.
Yeah, I was like, okay, all right. He sold
bagging groceries
his
to the NFL. Bagging groceries, Arena League. Man, dude was in the Arena League too. I don't know how that plays out.
Greatest show on turf. Why not?
Man, those were the days. Wish I was playing much fantasy back then. I mean,
are you kidding me?
I played a little bit. That was my lull of fantasy.
Falk?
Marshall Falk was just winning you leagues back then. Marshall, man, you were dominating if you had Falk. Or LaDainian Tomlinson.
I like how immediately I just think of Nelly wearing a Torrey Holt jersey backwards. You know what I mean? That goes back a long way.
Nelly has his own McDonald's meal now. So
is that true?
Go to McDonald's and ask for the Cornell Hayes Jr. and you'll get that's the Nelly meal.
I have not. Is that Nelly's name?
Yeah.
I've never known that. That's hilarious, man.
Cornell Hayes Jr. You go to McDonald's. You ask for the Cornell Hayes Jr. meal. It's the Nelly meal. What's the Cornell Hayes Jr.? Let me find out. Let me look this up. We're giving McDonald's
is the difference between people that have children and people that don't. I have not been to McDonald's.
I see commercials. I see commercials too. So the Cornell Hayes Jr. meal is wait, that doesn't make sense. Where'd it go? Or maybe it's not McDonald's. Maybe it's Burger King. It's Burger King.
Oh, Burger King.
Yeah, I think it might be Burger. And McDonald's has different meals. I think this is the Burger King meal.
You know what, Nelly? I mean, it's not McDonald's, but it's still somewhat impressive.
So he couldn't get the McDonald's meal like other people are doing, right? So he had to get the Burger King meal, and it is, I got it right here. Where to go? It's a Whopper, a small Sprite, and a small fry.
Oh, it's nothing unusual?
No, it's just a Whopper, a small
What?
Sprite, and a small fry. You just go ask for the Cornell Hayes Jr. and you get a Whopper, a small Sprite, and a small fry.
That is very disappointing.
Right? It's not some special meal.
Yeah,
I guess
it would be like, okay, a Whopper, but they're also going to throw like, I don't know, extra special sauce and fries on the burger or something. I don't know. Give me something.
No.
Nelly, you're better than that. It comes with like a Band-Aid.
Yeah, it does.
Man, God, his first album was so good. Anyway, I digress.
All right, but there we go. We got a Burger King ad in there. So, all right. That'll do it. Talk to you guys after Carolina Houston.
Sponsor us.